sure if you can see all the bees swarming around this borage, but they're there. Just gathering lots and lots of nectar and stuff like that. So it's been overcast for a day and a half, and suddenly it is just super sunny and warm. And I just checked everything. I've been watering them, you know, in the evenings or in the morning sporadically in areas that I hadn't watered, and I checked and a lot of things are dry. It's really upsetting. And just yesterday I heard on the news that some kind of water area, canyon or something in Utah or something like that has been record dry, and the water level was so low that they found a boat that had sunk and hadn't been retrieved or recovered in at least over 50 years or something like that. Anyway, I have some new sproutlings. That looks like an apple or pear or some kind. Didn't grow that, it volunteered, probably from some seeds. I put some melon seeds down there. Some kind of melon or pumpkin seeds, I can't remember now. Here's another borage coming up. And there is a hollyhock, canna, loquat, plumeria, and then over there is my hollyhock. So I hope you like seeing my haul and a bit of what's growing. It's just so darn hot that it's really frustrating that some things haven't popped up. But I mean, more and more I'm seeing little blooms, so maybe I just have to be a little more patient. I just thought I had a lot of failure, and they are coming up. So what I plan on doing today is spreading the worm castings out, and also I had purchased some blood and bone meal that I'm going to spread out also onto the plants, and then I'll water the plants tonight and water in the nutrients into my plants. And that's one Bellin Country garden bed. Here's another This one's doing fantastic. So this is dahlias. These, I can't remember what they are. I think it's a giant poppies. And sunflowers. Some dill. I know I planted dill. And something, I'm not too sure what they are there. And something else. These are Shabbat carnations, I believe. And then everything else right here is blank. And then broadleaf sage, and next to it is, I think, a volunteer blackberry cane. I hope it didn't go through, because I put cardboard down below, and I hope it didn't break down and the blackberry canes went through, but it doesn't matter, I can pull it up. Some sunflowers are coming up. I have another sapote here. I'm thinking it's a white sapote. It was gifted to me years ago, about 4 years ago, and it's still alive. And here's my 4-in-1 apple tree, and it's blooming little blossoms everywhere, and they're so pretty because they're pink and white. And it's kind of weird that although they're 4 different flowers, 4 different fruits, they're apple, but their colors of the flowers are the same. I thought some of them would be white and pink, but I know nothing of it. So here's a Brayburn Scion. Granny Smith, Honey Crisp apple, and Fuji apple. So they're all good flavors. And even the Granny Smith, which I plan, my kids love candied apple, so that's what I plan on doing. Asiatic lilies are thriving. Asiatic lilies are thriving. I'm kind of keeping them in the shade a little bit, protecting them. And some things aren't really thriving, so I'm going to give that some warm castings and bone and blood. And things are leafing out. Oh my goodness. This is the first time I've seen a fruit. I've had this tree for this is the 3rd year. So there is the fruit. That one I believe is the apricot. Yes, it's the Tilton apricot. So, but they say that when you only have a few fruit and the tree is young. Oh, I see 1 and 2 more. They say that in order to encourage more root growth, just to knock off all the fruits, the first year's fruit. So I might just do that because they said that that little bit of sacrifice will give you more fruit the following year, way more and better quality. Oh, there's a bee. And I wanted to show you my keffir lime leaf lime that's over there. And I accidentally bumped this tree a few times walking through here. So I knocked off some of the blossoms. So I'm trying to be careful. So let's see. Things are really dry. It's kind of frustrating because this is a drought year and I've been trying to water everything at night so it has time to absorb everything. Some people say that it's not a good idea to water at night because you'll have like lots of fungal growth and things and diseases, but it dries out so quick if you water in the morning that you don't really give your plants a chance to absorb the water. So that's what I was trying to do. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but that's what I'm doing to try to optimize the plant's water uptake. So I'm going to have to water things in tonight. And so it's kind of frustrating because I put some new seeds down here in these bare spots. I'm trying to fill in as many areas that I don't walk through. And they're not having the chance to sprout because it's so dry. But here, my goji berry is doing fantastic. It is like double the length and double the volume it was from last year. And my dianthus that I grew here, I just snuck it in here so it would have some pollinators over here. It's doing great. I just recently cut off the some branches of this Thai basil and the blossoms I put into the chicken coop so that the smell will deter pests. And I used some of that in my tuna fish sandwich, tuna fish dressing, or as a herb, I mean. Here's a blackberry bush coming back alive. And the thing that is kind of frustrating is that things look kind of dry, but at the same time things are just coming back to in spring, coming back alive. And although it looks very brown in some spots, it is, believe me, that it is getting more lush and more green and filling in. So I'm pretty happy about that. This ginger doesn't look too great. I probably need to water it in deeply. I transferred it out of a bucket and into the ground. So that's what's happening here. My moringa is coming back, thank goodness, because they're really frost intolerant, but they do like to be dry, and I was trying to protect it from this past winter by covering it with plastic. And over here I have some blackberries growing like crazy, so I'm gonna have to pull them up and give them off as gifts or something if anyone's interested. Some green beans I'm starting off here, some green beans amongst some sunflowers growing here. And the fig trees are coming back full force with they're leafing out. And here's another one, another fig tree doing fantastic. My daughter's double Dutch rose that she's so proud of. I love that it's pink with the bright yellow center. I mean, that is so pretty. Absolutely. Now their peas are starting to grow next to the chicken run. And I don't see too many corns coming up. I was hoping they would have planted more seeds from the corn, but they didn't. Some hollyhocks that I transplanted from pots over here in this part of the yard, so it'll grow nice and tall and kind of block out some views from the street into my yard, because I kind of want a little more privacy back here for my animals, my chickens and rabbits, and more shade as well. The Tulsi is doing fantastic. I'm going to split it off and give it to my siblings. Tons of mint, and yes, it is invading this garden bed, but I don't mind. I can pull it up, replant some of them, pull it up, use it to eat, which I love, and make tea out of it. Plenty of uses. I have recently cut down some of the cilantro, some to eat, some to feed to my rabbits and chickens, and I'm letting this stuff go to seed, so I can collect some seeds from these guys. Meanwhile, these may still produce. Ooh, some lettuce. Oh my goodness, they were hidden underneath the cilantro, and I didn't realize it until I didn't even realize it when I cut it yesterday. Some new brassica seeds I threw down. I think they're collard greens. A nasturtium's coming up that I stuck the seed in, tucked it in when I was trying to grow some in some pots. Some green onions, some ashitaba. Love ashitaba. Has a great texture, grows really easily. Just get a cutting from someone, stick it in the ground, and it just takes root so quick. Love it. Brussels sprouts and broccoli over yonder. My beautiful Gerbera daisy that made it. It's an annual, but it made it through the winter. I love it. It has 4 blooms right now. It's so beautiful. And some tomatoes growing here. Love them. Some society garlic that I need to give some to friends and family, and some to transplant to the ground. And let me show you some nasturtium coming up. Some larkspur coming up. What is this here? It is Tithonia. Love it. It has bright red blooms. It's like a red sunflower or red something. And the cannas are beautiful right now. They're bright red with a tinge of yellow. I don't know if you can see it here. Just beautiful and bright. Love it. This butterfly bush is thriving. It's so green and lush. It was kind of dying off over the winter, and now it's coming back full force. And this lavender is doing fantastic. I mean, it was just a little branch over the fall, and like a twig and then a branch, and now it's blooming. I'm gonna pull that up and give it to my brother. So my brother recently pulled up a little patch in his yard, and he would like some plants to fill it in. So I am the perfect person to ask. I told him not to buy any plants because I have so many roses here. And in fact, this one's about to bloom, and I'll find out what the color is because it's just kind of random. Rando stuff here. Here's a mum that needs a little more water. Another chrysanthemum. A rose. Not sure the colors until they pop up. Another rose. Another chrysanthemum. All of a sudden these weeds invaded. So once I pull up these particular flowers and pot them up, I'm going to dig up this area and cover it with mulch, and none of this will be a problem. Or if the length of this is long enough here, not too short, then I can bring the chickens on over and just let them till this up for me. So haven't decided yet. I have to take some measurements. This huge hollyhock here, and it's about to bloom. It's got a big, so although this year I didn't have my huge usual sunflower blooms, I am getting a ton of hollyhock blooms, and they've been gradually growing over the winter and spring. Oh my, that is gorgeous. So beautiful. And the thing about hollyhocks is that they give you so many blooms all the way up. So first you get a few, and then they just bloom and bloom, and new buds come up. So here are the new buds. Let me try to catch them. New buds and new buds, and they just grow all the way up to the tippy top, and I love it. So I have this pink color, and then I have some lighter pastel pink colors that will come up, and they come up year after year. I think they are perennials, and also according to Plant Abundance guy Dan, he says that the leaves and the flowers are edible, and I believe that to be true because this plant is a relative of the mallow family, the mallow weed, and those are edible as well. People regard them as weeds, but traditionally in old times they were used as food, as a food source. Lovely. So with that, I bid you a great, happy, wonderful day, and please come back and watch my next video. See you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, and share.